to start thinking, only if your child is going into kindergarten.
It's happening for me.
Parents start thinking, okay, so you start thinking about it early. We know it's summer, but you're thinking, are they ready? Can he pull up his pants?
Can he open his lunchbox?
Can he open his lunchbox? Nanny Robina is here. She's got the answer. These are the things, right? I remember going through this with the kids and not realizing all of the little things that you've got to think about when they're going into kindergarten, because you want to make sure that they can be independent. That's the point. You're raising little human beings.
Yeah.
You don't want them to need you for the rest of your life.
You take it for granted, because when you're at home, there are so many things that you do for your child without realizing. You're in a rush to get out the door, so you slip his pants on.
Yeah.
And you do up the jacket.
Right.
Well, guess what? The teacher doesn't want to do all that.
And
she can't do it for 25
he shouldn't
kids.
have to. No.
There's a few teachers out there like, you're so right.
So the first thing you say you need to do is actually start getting them, if you've been home with your baby since you had the baby, maybe your child hasn't been around other kids.
Yeah, so you know what?
Socialization.
Absolutely. So come September, they're either going to daycare or they're going to daycare.
Yeah.
Right? So listen, I've been there as a nanny. I've looked after children, and we haven't been in a large environment. Right? We've gone for play dates, and we've gone to friends' houses, and suddenly you go to daycare, there's a lot more children.
Absolutely.
There's a lot more people, and that will bring on a flood of tears, because a child can end up having anxiety from being in a big surrounding like that they're not used to. So first thing you want to start doing is actually get your baby out into larger groups of people, like the playground, indoor playgrounds, play group, mom groups, and get them used to larger amounts of children around them. Okay, so they come familiar with that bigger crowd.
Yeah, just the noise of it all and the sharing or not sharing, whatever, but they need to know sort of how to interact with other kids. Now, should you take a visit to the school or the daycare ahead of time if you can?
You know what, when you're doing the daycare, absolutely. I've witnessed, and I guess the mom, I don't know what the circumstances were, but I went to my friend's daycare and this child cried all day, and I'm like, why is he still crying? It's all day. He did not have that prep. He had been dropped off at daycare with no prep. So here you have a 12-month-old baby that's surrounded by complete strangers and no mommy. How would you feel? As an adult, it's bad enough. As a child, he was very upset. You need to sort of introduce your baby to there. You want to, you know, go and have a couple of visits, maybe spend a morning at the daycare. They will usually let you.
They're very much into the transition. A lot of the daycares, they want you to come early and do a half day, and you can stay there and sort of, you know, be supervising, but from a passive distance.
Exactly. Have your baby sit down with him, and then step by step over a period of time, make that time shorter and shorter, and eventually I'll be at the door with a box of tissues for you as you leave your baby there. Leave your baby there, you know, a couple of hours, come back, pick him up, and I can assure you, you will hear screams and floods of tears, but I assure you, they do get over it. They do get over it.
Some of them don't cry at all.
No, they're like, bye, Mom, I'm so sick of you. I am happy to be with other people.
They're like, later.
So that's the baby, and then, of course, come September, you've got, you know, you've also got Daycare, right? So that's another prep.
So you say talk about it as well, but maybe not right before sleep time?
You know what,
like
don't talk about it yet over dinner, because some children already start to think about, what the first thought is, I'm not going to be with my mommy. Then they go to bed and they start thinking about it. It can sort of bring on a little anxiety, and it could bring on bedwetting. It could bring on sleepless nights, so avoid that chat. Do it in the morning at breakfast, and use a tone that's happy. You know, I know not all of you have got that tone, but by sort of, sorry, but I know because I've worked for some of you, but basically like, oh, so exciting, September, you're going to have your own teacher and you're going to have lots of new friends, you know, you sort of make it really exciting so he gets excited, you know, so that's what you want to do. But yeah, throughout the summer, you need to do some prepping.
So let's talk about getting them prepped for kindergarten and the sorts of things that you're going to want them to know before they get in there.
Well, the first thing is, obviously, some of the things you're going to do is opening and closing your lunch boxes, okay? Because one thing you don't want to send them to school with a lunch box and it's still locked and the sandwiches in there when they come home. Which has actually happened, you know.
Teachers were usually helped, but as you mentioned, they don't want to do it for 30 people.
No.
So I sent Eva with this, and she couldn't open it. Didn't that make me feel good at the end of the day? So they should actually be practicing and maybe go with an easier container until their little fingers can handle.
Yeah, you know what? And go to the indoor play. Go out to the park and take the lunches like this and have them sit there and practice those little things. Little snap cups, you know, these little, you know,
cute.
Isn't that cute? Do you know what I love about this? But what you got to be careful is they don't open it like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Because each little thing has a snack in there.
Yes, so they open like that, it's going to spill out. So again, that's one of those things that you want to have a practice.
Oh, Cheerios. Yum.
There you go.
I love these.
Water bottles, keep it nice and easy up and down. But what is more importantly is obviously the shoe factor.
Yeah.
This is a big thing in the morning, and I know your moms have done this yourselves, trying to get the shoes on and get out the door.
Yeah.
One of the things that you may want to consider is that they're having Velcro.
Yes.
And not the laces. Now, even if they do know how to do the laces up, this takes fine motor skills.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that even if they can do them up, it takes time. It takes time at school that they don't have.
Right.
So if they've been at home doing this and they've been practicing and doing it, that's great. But when it comes to getting outside, they don't want to be 5 minutes behind the other kids.
It sure can be frustrating to teach them, though. Holy moly.
Yeah.
We should do a whole segment on that.
Absolutely. And the clothes. You want to avoid these tiny buttons. You know, again, fine motor skills. It can be very finicky. Pull on T-shirts. Okay,
that's
pull
easy.
on T-shirt, pull on pants.
Yeah.
Just make it easier for the kids. One thing they will need to practice, though, is how to open and close a jacket.
Right, so this is going to be important come the colder months.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to learn to do it themselves. A lot of them teach them the flip.
Yep.
You know, they put it on and then flip it over, and they love that. They think that's a lot of fun.
So find your way of doing it. And I know it's kind of hot, but just do that at home for a little while right now in the house, because it is something that they will need to do.
Guess what? Start thinking about the alphabet, the ABCs, and the 1, 2, 3s at home. Especially when you have these cool sticky things. You can actually stick these on your wall.
And the teachers would really,
they'll
really appreciate it if you get the kids' basics done. So thank you to Staples, who did a wonderful job here. Staples and Donna, our producer, did a wonderful job here. But start teaching the kids the ABCs, the colors, the basics. They probably already know those at this point, but you need to do a little refresher. Because when you get there, you don't want them to fall behind with the other kids. So you know what? Singing the ABC, doing numbers, doing colors, right there in your kitchen. Go get the stickers. Perfect.
I did some of these things, but not a lot of them. So, I mean, don't stress out if you don't get all of them off the checklist. But in a perfect world, if you could get through all of this before they go in, you'll feel better about it, and so will they, right?